A huge thank you to Paradox Interactive for sponsoring today's video by providing me with a key to Apocalypse and Humanoids. What's up guys, it's Ryantium here, and today we are back once again in Stellaris Console Edition taking a look at the post-apocalyptic Civic. Now with the release of Apocalypse and Humanoids, we now have access to a few special civics that have now been updated and added to the ability or to the Empire creation screen. One of which we'll be taking a look at today, and the other two we'll be taking a look at another date. But post-apocalyptic. Post-apocalyptic allows you to start with your capital as a tomb world, meaning a nuclear world bathed in radiation and disarray and destruction. It's a very cool way to roleplay a species, especially if you want to roleplay like an original story where it's like your empire, your civilization was spanning across the galaxy, but was wiped out by a super militant race, and then all of your planets were bombarded, and then your capital was turned into a nuclear wasteland, but then you rose from the ashes as if you were a phoenix. It's kind of a cool way to roleplay that. But the other great way to play it is with the Fanatic Purifier trait. Obviously, or the Civic rather. Obviously, being a Fanatic Purifier is very appropriate because of their Armageddon bombardment stance, which we'll get into here in one moment. But not only do you start with your capital as a tomb world, you actually gain the Survivor trait, and that gives you the tomb world habitability plus 70% and your leader lifespan plus 10 years. So if we go ahead and take a look at the traits, we actually get the Survivor one for free. So like I said, it adds 70% tomb world habitability and plus 10 leader lifespan to your species. Now, you will still have a planetary preference, and that's based on what you pick before you pick post-apocalyptic. So say we want to go ahead and have a continental preference, we can go ahead and have a continental preference. Then when we go ahead and put on our, our post-apocalyptic, it won't say that we have a continental preference, but it will say it in-game, or at least that's what it did with my profile right now. But back to the more fun way of playing it with the Fanatic Purifiers, they have the Armageddon bombardment stance, but with a post-apocalyptic start. Hear me out on this. Your homeworld starts as a tomb world. You go out amongst the stars and you find a planet that has primitive civilizations on it, or you find a lovely first contact with another spacefaring empire, and they've got a few worlds, but none of them are your worlds that you can live on. Enter the Armageddon bombardment stance. It is, for lack of a better term, orbital bombardment terraforming, or OBT is what I'll call it. You can bombard the crap out of any planet, whether it is owned by a primitive civilization or another empire, and turn a 10% habitability tropical world into a plus 70% habitable tomb world with the Fanatic Purifier's Armageddon bombardment stance. How nice is that? There's no tech involved, you don't need to know terraforming, and you don't need to spend energy credits. All you gotta do is plop one measly Corvette and just let it bombard for the next 25 years. And by the time everyone on that planet is dead, you'll have a shiny brand new tomb world for you to inhabit. Now it might take a little while, but the more ships the merrier. And the less pops, the less time it takes to blow them all up. So the post-apocalyptic trait is very, very fun, but you have to have a few things. There's a couple requirements. You do not have Mechanist, you can't be an Agrarian Idol, you cannot have Syncretic Evolution, and you cannot have Life-Seeded. It doesn't mean you need to be a militaristic fanatic xenophobe, only for the, Fanatic Purifiers. So you can really play this any way that you want, just as long as you don't have those civics, activated at the same time. Now, to play a post-apocalyptic playthrough, you do still have some regular habitability on the other planets, like I said. If you choose your continental preference, you'll have a continental preference as well as the tomb worlds. But the tomb worlds is an extra, because if we all know, the further you go down in the society tree, you do get access to research that allows you to live on tomb worlds and have a more habitable experience on those tomb worlds. But with this, it's almost as if you're starting with that research done, only to then be able to do it later on down the road to boost it even more. So you'll be leveling up your habitability on, on different planets. You can go through gene tailoring to make sure that you can be, adaptive on most planets. And it's a very fun way to not only start the game with extra resources like energy production and mineral production in the form of more districts, you also get the opportunity to live on worlds that no species can if they're just a regular organic empire. They've got to go through a lot of different society research to get to the point where they can even think about being on a tomb world. So the post-apocalyptic Civic is a really fun way to spice things up so that you can start on a different world and give yourself a little bit of an edge when it comes to colonizing early on, especially if you find those tomb worlds. But combined with a Fanatic Purifier can be almost unstoppable, especially when you have your orbital bombardment terraforming method that you can use on pretty much all primitives as well as enemy empires. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you're looking for any more Stellaris Console Edition content, you can always check here on the video or on the channel. Grab a sub, drop a like if you will. But if you're looking for any other content creators who create Stellaris content, check down there in the description. There's a whole bunch of great ones down there. So, with that being said, guys, we will be back soon with another Stellaris Console Edition video. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.